Welcome back to my recovery. This is Chameleon again, of course, because obviously I ain't gonna host for a show. But anyways, today I'm gonna go over about taking care of yourself because I mentioned it. I don't know, something like 1,000, 2,000 times, somewhere around there. About the best thing to do when you're first starting out is to, exercise and just really get yourself on some sort of some structure in your life. And so today I'm gonna read from this beautiful thing here. One little sheet of paper, so it ain't gonna be probably ain't gonna be a long of a video as usually it is. And I also wanted to talk about today that I realized today, which I've realized this a bunch of times, but it's hard to keep in your head most times, anyways. It's hard to keep in my brain, anyways. Maybe you guys can keep it in yours, but not me. Is that my happiness is tied to me, right? Um, what I mean by that is that I'm the only one that controls it. I can't expect someone to swoop in and help me be a better person. I can't expect someone to help me take care of the things I need to take care of at home or, at work, if, if I was working or, anywhere, right? I can't expect anybody else to handle my life but me. And so I have no one else to blame but myself if I'm unhappy with my life. People want to blame a lot of other people. They want to blame, I mean, everybody else but themselves for the reason why their lives turned out the way they did. And I'm not saying that there ain't bad people in this world that take advantage of your situation, obviously, because there is. Um, and a lot of addicts are forced in this life, whether people believe that or not, they are. I mean, their family started it and they grew up in it, and so but, you know, deep down though they still have a choice and they know what choices they're making, and if they're making good choices or bad choices, and their happiness is still tied to them once they become old enough to realize that they can get themselves out of the situation when they want to. Now, like I said, obviously there's some extreme situations that people are probably going to go crazy in the comments about or some stupid crap like that, but I mean, for the general population, that's not true, right? I mean, for general population, our happiness is tied to us, and that's it, our one and only selves. And I have to keep telling myself that because I want to fall back in this addict mindset. I want to fall back to this addict mindset where I want to blame the world. I mean, it's funny because I don't know. This movie's old now. Um, but it's from The Lion King. The whole Hakuna Matata, right? When the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world, right? Right. So I grew up with that mentality in my mind. It's not from, obviously not from that movie. Um, I used to carve FTW in my desk at school. Sorry for whistling there. At the desk at school, FTW, which is F the world, right? And you usually stand for the win now, but back in my day it was screw the world. And so I hated it. I hated life. I hated the world. I hated everybody. I hated everything in it. And I blamed every single person but myself for the situation that I was in. And looking back, obviously now I know for a fact that that was, the wrong way of thinking. I mean, it wasn't their fault. I mean, if anything, the bullies took advantage of my weakness, and if anything, I should have been a stronger person. I should have been a stronger individual. I should have been stronger with everything. I should not let it bother me so much. I should have learned to laugh it off more, um, make fun of myself more. Um, I should have learned to realize that my dad being at work was a good thing, not a bad thing. Um, and Still learning a lot of things, and I just want to repeat this, like I said, because people tend to fall back in those habits, those old habits that we used to have when we were addicts. And it's really easy for addicts to blame everybody because everybody's against us. And it's really easy for us to blame every single person that we see, like it's their fault. It's their fault we're in this situation. It's their fault, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It all lies on us. It's up to us to keep using. It's up to us to finally say enough is enough. It's up to us to change our mind to, just stop using. It's just. Anyways, I'm gonna read this right here about taking care of yourself. Change the subject here, and so hopefully this will help you understand a little bit what I'm talking about whenever I bring it up in videos. About structure and what you need to do to take care of yourself. So it says people who are substance dependent often do not take care of themselves. They don't have the time or energy to pay attention to health and grooming. Health and personal appearance become less important than substance use. Not caring for oneself is a major factor in losing self-esteem. To, es- to esteem something means to see value in it, to acknowledge its importance. People in recovery need to recognize their own value. In recovery, your own health and appearance become more important as you care more for yourself. Taking care of yourself is part of starting to like and respect yourself again. Paying attention to the following concerns will strengthen your image of yourself as a person who is healthy, abstinent, and recovering. And it's asked, a bunch of questions here. It says, have you seen the doctor for a checkup? When was the last time you went to the dentist? Have you considered getting a new look? Are you paying attention to what you are eating? Do you wear the same clothes you wore when you were using? Do you need to have your vision or hearing checked? What? I'm sorry. Do you exercise regularly? Is your caffeine or nicotine intake out of control? And it says some people find it easier to make sweeping lifestyle changes all at once. However, if addressing all these health and grooming issues at once is too overwhelming, work on one or two items each week. Decide which are most important and do those first. As you look and feel better, you will increase both the strength and the pleasure of your recovery. The pleasure of your recovery. That's a really interesting way of saying that. There's really not much I want to add on this other than the fact that you should start by really, just getting yourself on a daily schedule. Get yourself waking up on the same time, going to bed around the same time. If you exercise, to exercise around the same time. Stuff like that, because it's not just for your recovery; it's for your health as well. It has more benefits for your health than it does just for your recovery. Just having yourself on that time frame, it's hard to explain. It's really your brain's a computer, right? So you want to have a certain shutdown times, just like you can do on a computer. It's the same process with your body. You want to have it to where it wakes up at a certain time, goes to bed at a certain time, and you want to get in these rhythms because you tend to be healthier. People tend to be healthier when they have structure in their life. So that's the main reason behind it. And plus, it makes you feel better, right? It just gradually you'll start to feel better each day. The more you realize that, hey, I can wake up at this time, and hey, I'm going to bed at this time, and that more of these days actually feel like normal days to you, not just the run of the mill, always running down the road, always chasing drugs type thing. Um, it's just good. It's a great great mood um, change whenever you figure out whenever you start doing this. Anyways, um, it ends with a question that says the first thing I need to take care, the first thing I need to do to take care of myself is. And obviously, I'm fat. I'm getting fat, so I need exercise. So that's what I put down on mine. So you guys can figure that out on your own and tell me what you think about that. And so I want to. It's late to go ahead and wish everybody Happy Father's Day. You know, it's late. It was last Sunday, and also Happy Father's Day to my dad. Um, we don't really have much. We don't have big, deep conversations. Me and my dad don't, because my dad worked, um, every day when I was growing up. I barely got to see him, and to make sure that I had a good life. And me, being the dummy I was, resented that for most of my life and looked at it in the wrong way. All the way up until I became a father myself. And once I became a father myself, it dawned on me the sacrifices he was making just to be a good dad. And of course, I instantly regretted being, the worst son I could possibly be to him. But thankfully, I believe he's forgiven me for that. Like I said, we don't really have that type of father son relationship. But I do love him, and he's always been my hero. Even when I did resent him, I still wanted to grow up and be just like him. I talk to my son all the time. Me and him talk about all the time, but they just don't make human beings like that generation anymore. Like my dad, he's getting ready to have a birthday. He'll be 69, I believe. And that generation of people just they don't exist anymore. Like they don't make men like that no more. They don't make women like that no more. And it's just an honor to know that generation in particular, and especially my mom and my dad. So thank you guys again, and I hope everybody out there has a wonderful day.